And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We are live and amplified here at Teen Vision TV 16. Feels good to be back here in the studio with our director, Johnny Nunez, of course. We're going to really blow it out high school baseball-wise. A little bit later in the show, we're going to break down some of those county clash games coming up. We were there a couple weekends ago. We'll be back out there this Saturday. Join us a little bit later in the show. The skipper for Citrus Valley, Jon Austin, is going to join us. Big game against Cajon, but also it's a versus cancer game. So we'll talk more about that with head coach Jon Austin. So a lot more high school baseball a little bit later in the show. But right now, we're going to lead things off with one of the top teams in our area, and these guys are trying to chase down a Southwestern League championship, and who knows, a deep playoff run in CIF as well. We're going live with the Vista Murrieta Broncos baseball team, George Jones and some of his top players as well. Coach, first off, thank you so much for coming on the Inland Sports Show again. You guys off to a great start. Wanted to give the Broncos some love here early on in the season. We know the Southwestern League is tough. You guys have raced out to a good start. What have you guys done well so far in league play to get that little bit of separation at the top of the Southwestern League?
First of all, Pep, thanks for having us on the show. We're excited. I think last time I was on the show was back just before COVID. Yeah. And again, I feel like we're almost in the same spot. We're pretty much the same record going in. We're 6-1 right now. I think a lot of what we've done is just we rely heavily on our pitching, which has been a staple in this program from day one, and putting pressure on the other team. So we do a good job every day in practice preparing fast. Everything we do is we try to go above game speed, and with our pitchers, we rely on them in the game, throwing strikes, and we kind of just feed off what they do.
So you have no problem playing in a 1-0 or 2-1 game. Maybe that even plays in your favor, right, with those strong pitchers.
It really does, Pep. This year we've had a lot of one-run games. We've had quite a few shutouts. Lucas, who's here, Perko, he has 4 complete games already this year, 5-0 on the year. So, in those tight games, our pitching staff is deep, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the group that we have, and looking forward to the back half of the year. I think we're going to do some good things.
Well, Coach, you just mentioned Lucas Perko, so I'm going to go to Lucas next with this question, because I was actually, there's 3 different days of the county clash, and at the previous one I was at, I forget what game it was, but I was standing there minding my own business, but I heard someone talking about, man, Vista Murrieta's got this really great pitcher. I'm assuming it was Lucas Perko. Lucas, you and the pitching staff, do you feel like if the offense can get you guys maybe 2 or 3 runs, you're probably going to be in every single ball game because you're not going to let a lot of runs cross the plate? What have the Vista Murrieta pitchers done well so far this season?
We've done really well, just like separating how we use our pitches and how well we can get people to get out, especially with how we've been working with our pitching coach, Coach Sylvie. He's helped us really just simplify our approach of how to pitch and just go at guys, because most of the time they're going to get themselves out, so we don't have to try too hard.
All right, Lucas, let me go to your catcher now, Joey Guterman. Joey, what's it like being, behind the dish, catching some of the, Lucas and some of these great pitchers, knowing that, 2 or 3 runs by the offense might be enough to do it because, your team's going to be in every single ball game thanks to great pitching. What's it like catching these guys?
It's really fun, first off, and I'm really confident calling pitches for them because I catch them in practice and I see how hard they work. And so I can see the confidence in their eyes when I call 3-2, breaking ball, if they're change-ups. I know they're going to get it for the strike.
How many times do they wave you off? Do they wave you off a lot, or do you?
They don't wave me off that much, no.
I'm sorry, Coach. I think you're going to jump in there about maybe Joey catching some of these great pitchers.
He does a really good job, and it's something that Joey's come a long way. I think he started off, we talked earlier in the week about, his freshman year, he was a center field. He started off in center field, and then he's kind of worked, his way into being a really, really good catcher. And we're fortunate we have guys like Anthony Tulamero, who played here in the past, that comes back and helps out and gets back to our team. That's really helped with Joey in the offseason. But Joey works really hard. One of the few catchers that we, in the area, he calls his own game. we trust him in the fact that, he calls the game for the guys. There's times that, he'll come in, maybe we'll have a conversation on certain pitch calls, but for the most part, really mature, does a great job calling the games and, controlling our staff, which is important. If you don't have good, we didn't have a catcher like Joey or even Nate Prinky, our other backup, they really help out with keeping our pitchers confident, like Joey said. We got guys like Von Necker next to me, Nate Lee, Matty Gorm. I think our staff is really, really deep. Cole Tucker, all different in a sense. And Joey and Nate have done a really good job of handling those guys and making them feel confident. So really, a lot of our testament too is our pitchers, but also our catchers. Being able to handle those guys and make them feel confident about every pitch they throw.
That's a great point, Coach, to have a great catcher that you trust and the pitchers trust, behind the plate catching them. Let me ask you, you brought up Von Necker. There's no way he's a freshman. Is he really a freshman?
I said the same thing when he, came up. It's 6'1", almost 6'2", 235 pounds, and he's not fat. Let me tell you, this morning, him and Jack Peterson, I look over and they're both squatting 315, in our morning workout. And JJ and I are sitting there with 185 as I was lifting with JJ next to me. I look over and there's a freshman going, 315 sets of 5. I'm going, oh my gosh, he's not a football player, he's a baseball player. Trying to get maybe football, but yeah, he is a freshman. And not a holdback either. He's a true freshman, not a 16. He's 15 years old.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, and if he's lifting with Jack, then he's putting up a lot of weight. Coach, before I get to Vaughn over here and ask him a question, but I'm assuming you haven't had a lot of freshmen start at the varsity level, right? I mean, you have to probably be a pretty special guy to crack that starting lineup, especially at Vista Murrieta. You got so many great players.
Well, if you look at the past, we've had a few, way back when we had a Derek Lay. We had the Mobrook brothers. We had the 3 Mobrook brothers. One's at UCLA now, one went to Tennessee, one went to UC Irvine. But again, special guys. Joe Van Afner. Those are really special guys, and Vaughn fits right in there. In 2019, we had 2. We had Mikey Romero, who's one of the top players who, went over to Orange Loop, and I wish we, still had him here. He's a great young man, great player, lives right around the corner. And we had Jack Peterson. So we had those 2. Last year we had David Root at shortstop, who's back this year as a sophomore. And this year we have 2 more. We have Vaughn and Rylan Dewson. So, we've been fortunate to have some really, really good freshmen come through the program that, are impact players.
So, Vaughn, let me ask you this. Was there any sort of adjustment period for you playing varsity baseball? Like when you step on the diamond, do you think, wow, that guy's like 3 years older than me? Or, once you get between the lines, is baseball, and you feel like you just kind of fit in with the guys?
Yeah, definitely moved a lot faster, but I have a lot of the teammates and stuff push me to get better every single day, and they've helped a lot. And it took a while to adjust, but I'm slowly fitting in.
So, Vaughn, at the plate, on the mound, where do you think you are the best at? Pitching, hitting, where do you feel like you're the strongest at?
That's a hard one. I'd say probably hitting right now. Struggling a little bit on the mound, but I feel really confident in my swing.
All right, Vaughn, let me go to your guy next to you right there, Jared Gonzalez. And Jared, you've been a starter with this program several years in a row now. What do you think makes this year's Vista Murrieta team maybe unique or special, maybe a little bit different than maybe the last couple of years? Something special about this team?
I'll say just the pitching, our pitching rotation. It's kind of crazy. We'll have this guy come in, and then we'll have Coulter come in, and I'll have a lot of confidence in both of them. Just our team chemistry, we're all really kind of close together. We have team dinners before games. We all get close together, get some grub, and then we spend time together.
Let me go back to Joey on this one. Joey, I know you guys have the Darryl Kyle tournament coming up at Norco High School. You're going to see some really good teams. I'd imagine for you guys, it's good to play other really good teams because you're going to jump right back into Southwestern League play and see some really good teams. If you guys win a league title, is this a good way to make sure you guys are staying dialed in?
Yes, sir, it is. Basically, when you're playing these better teams, it's most times the team that loses is one with more errors. So we just play clean baseball, play catch, we'll be okay.
And Lucas, same thing for you, man. Like, you're going to play teams that are probably, in the hunt for their own respective league championships. They're going to be, pushing for the playoffs. They might be ranked in their CIF Southern Section division. As a pitcher, is it good going up against tough lineups so that you're staying tuned in?
Yeah, it's really good going up against tougher teams because then you get to see what pitches work against them, and then you can manipulate how you use them against that team to other teams in your league.
And Coach, you mentioned before we went on the air that you guys have played a ton of road games. It sounds difficult, but maybe is there a silver lining there for you guys having to play really good teams away from Vista Murrieta? Is that, build some character? I mean, give me some silver linings, some positives, coming away from that.
I talked to the guys early in the fall, Pep, about this. We played 28 games in the fall. Trying to have the toughest schedule possible with a lot of road games, knowing that as you go down to win a league championship, to possibly win a CIF championship down the line, you have to win on the road. You have to learn to play good teams on the road. So silver lining, that's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for that league championship. So when we walk into a Temecula Valley or a Great Oak or Chaparral, or Merida Valley, Mesa, our league is very tough. And we're on the road. It's nothing that we're not used to. We walk into a road game just as, to us, it's like a home game. So we walk into it, no big deal. We go after it, and hopefully down the line, as we get going and get towards playoffs, it becomes an easier, feat when we're on the road. And then if we do get a home game, it's our advantage. And it seemed to work so far. Maybe I kind of stole this a little bit from when I coached water polo back 2010-11 with Brian Linton over at Merida Valley. And a lot of games on the road, and his philosophy there, you guys been to, 14 CF finals, is, if you win on the road, you're going to get deep in the playoffs. So I kind of stole a little bit from Brian over there.
No, that's a great perspective. I mean, I think you nailed it. Nailed it on the head. Like you've got to win on the road in the playoffs, to win a CIF championship, and you're probably going to go to some pretty tough places to win. Let's wrap it up with this, Jared. You're a three-year starter. You've been with the Broncos for a while now. In the latest Division II poll, you guys are ranked number 6. Do you guys keep an eye on the poll? Do you take a look at the other teams in the poll, or is it just about who's coming up next in league play? I don't know if you chunk out the season like, hey, let's win league, and then we'll worry about CIF playoffs. I mean, do you look at those rankings?
I would think so, but most of the time we're kind of not looking in the future, kind of like looking what's right now. We're just grinding every day, just the next game, and then I'll go on to the next game.
Coach, how much fun are you guys having right now? I mean, if you're winning, the guys are playing well. I know some of these guys have scholarships in the bag already. Like, it must be good times right now with the Broncos.
It's fun. These guys they're a great group of guys. They get along real well. In the weight room, that's one of our bonding times. All year we're in the weight room grinding it out. And we started in October. And these guys, 6 a.m. lifts, they're fun. It's a lot of fun. Now, it doesn't go that we don't have some hard times. Like yesterday, I might have get a little tough on the guys yesterday in practice. But we came back this morning and, guys were ready to go. And yesterday is over and they move forward to today. It's kind of good. I mean, it's a fun atmosphere to have the old and young together, and seeing some of these seniors. We have a really good senior group. Not only we have good talent, but we have some really good leaders. So, having guys like Jack Peterson, Joey, as some of our leaders out there, Jared, it really helps. I mean, those three guys, Jack, Joey, and Jared, having the experience and being able, I can go to them and say, hey, look, I'm hard on these guys. Can you go pick them up on the backside? And it's not even an issue. They go and do it. So I think we have a good balance with what we're doing, and it's exciting. I mean, they're fun guys to be around. I look forward to coming to work every day and being around these guys.
Coach, it sounds like you got some great leaders on that team, some great seniors that you can lean on, and again, some great young talent. I'm looking at one, Vaughn, right there. I mean, so it sounds like this team is poised to make a deep run in the playoffs. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Again, left to right, Joey Guterman, Lucas Perko, Jared Gonzalez, Von Necker, and of course, on the far right-hand side of your TV screen, that is head coach George Jones. Guys, thank you so much. Best of luck the rest of the season. You guys keep winning. We'll keep bringing you back. Is that a deal?
Sounds good, Pat. I look forward to it.
Thank you so much, guys. That is the Vista Murrieta High School baseball team joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, guys. That'll lead us right into our first commercial break of the night. When we come back, we'll break down the county clash games coming up this Saturday at San Manuel Stadium, and we'll have head coach from Citrus Valley, Jon Austin, joining us next.
What up, guys? Boost Man here at the Boost Performance Center. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
This segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco. Since 1976, Ken Sporting Goods has been #1 in the Inland Empire, providing team uniforms, sports equipment, Letterman jackets, and more. Visit them off Hamner in Norco or online at kensportinggoods.com. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Join Ray Bass and his experienced coaching staff for sports training to become bigger, stronger, and faster. Athletes from all sports, boys and girls, are welcome. Plus, learn more about the Bass Private School at boosttrainingsystems.com. And Danny's Pizza in Yucaipa. Looking for the best pizza in the Inland Empire? Look no more. You'll find it at Danny's Pizza off of Yucaipa Boulevard. Mention the Inland Sports Show and get 20% off your next order. So the next time you're ordering pizza for your family or maybe your entire team, make sure it's Danny's Pizza. What's up, guys? We're back here at the Boost Performance Center with the Boost man himself, Ray Bass, with another gridiron question. And Coach Bass, this time, you know, maybe there's parents out there, they have a son or daughter who they're totally into sports, extremely passionate about a specific sport, but maybe they're not the most talented. What advice would you give to them?
You know, I would tell them that, first off, you want to set realistic expectations on what's best for your child. You know, it kills me when I see kids who they want to opt out of certain positions just because they don't want to play whatever it is, that position, you know, whatever it could possibly be. You know, having those realistic expectations, you may not have the flexibility to play what you want if you're not necessarily as talented. So, you know, first thing parents want to do is help your child set realistic expectations of what can they be the best at based on their current skill level. Secondly is, and this is not about really talent, but you always want to develop a relentless work ethic with your kids, because at the end of the day, that's always going to be more of an asset than talent ever will. So, and that's whether or not you could be talented, not talented. That work ethic is so it's so valuable. So set realistic expectations, develop a relentless work ethic.
Yeah, I know you're always preaching about effort, and if you've got a question out there for the Boost man, make sure you hit us up on social media, Boost Training, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, correct?
Absolutely.
You're all over the place. That is the Boost man, Ray Bass, here with another gridiron question here at the Boost Performance Center. What is up, everybody? Again, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I'm Pep Fernandez. We're really blowing it out high school baseball-wise. Big thanks to the Vista Murrieta Broncos for checking in. They're at the Darrell Kyle tournament at Norco High School this week. Some really great teams out there. And then it's also the return, and we're excited about it, the County Clash at San Manuel Stadium. Some great games on the ticket for Saturday, including the 4 p.m. game, which is a Citrus Belt League battle. There's the schedule for April 2nd real quick. Summit versus Harupa Hills. We'll get the party started at 1. Cajon versus CV at 4 o'clock. The nightcap will be Colton versus Arroyo Valley. So that's all this Saturday. And then in 2 more weeks, it's going to be the land of the Big 8. We got some really good Big 8 League games. I am really excited about that King versus Corona game at 1 o'clock. Norco versus Centennial. And then Roosevelt versus Santiago. That's on April 16th. So we've had 1 county clash. We got 1 more coming up this Saturday, and then 1 more in a couple of weeks out there at the home of the Inland Empire 66ers. But we're going to talk about CV right now. Their head coach of the Blackhawks, Jon Austin, joining us here on the show. And Coach, the county clash, I always think it's a big deal. You guys get to play in the stadium. You know, it feels a little bit different. You're playing Cajon. That's a rivalry game. I feel like it's a rivalry game now. You guys met in a CIF championship game, but does it feel a little bit different when you get to take the field at San Manuel Stadium?
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, we owe this opportunity actually to Jeff Stout. Back in 1997, I was an assistant coach at Cajon, and we had an opportunity to play there right before. I think there might still been the spirit, maybe the Stampede. And fortunately, we got out in the bottom of the 7th. Otherwise, that game was going to go into extra innings. It was right before one of their actual games. So ever since then, Stout and then Coach H, Hernandez has just kept this thing rolling. And then Esteban Valencia, and now, this opportunity to be part of it as well. Again, man, it's just amazing how this thing's just been rolling for all these years.
Yeah, I was so happy to see it, come back. The pandemic took a lot of things away from us, and the county clash. I had people last year asking me, "Hey, is there county clash games?" I'm like, I don't know, there's not, but I'm hoping they're coming back next year. And here we got 3 different county clash games. You guys are coming back for your second one coming up this weekend against Cajon. Of course, going back to last year, playing in the CIF championship game against Cajon. You're a former Cajon coach. Is it special to not only be in the county clash, but to also be in the county clash playing the Cowboys?
Yeah, anytime, see that green and gold and get those Cowboys there, it's always special. I remember my first time ever going back, when I was an assistant at Redlands, and it felt really odd wearing a different uniform, being on the field as a visitor. And then, had that opportunity to play against them in the Division 5 championship was amazing. It's just so surreal. It brought a lot of heartache too at those times when all those years of coaching there, and where we just missed an opportunity to get there. So to get them and play the game on a stage again, locally. So hopefully we have a lot of visitors or participants that just show up, spectators that is, and to actually see us go at it mano a mano again.
Yeah, I hope so. The weather looks like it's going to cooperate this weekend. It should be great weather out there at San Manuel Stadium. So I urge everyone to go out there and check out a great day of baseball, especially because, Coach, I want to dive into this a little bit. You guys are fundraising. You're going to be giving back to a great cause. I saw it on social media. I wanted to bring it up here on the show. I just saw, in fact, our director, Johnny Nunez, I think we have a picture of it. It's called Versus Cancer. And I was like, man, I want to bring Coach Austin on the show and talk about this. I didn't know all the details about it, but you guys are participating. Can you explain a little bit, Coach, what Versus Cancer is all about and how you guys are giving back locally?
Sure, thank you. I appreciate you having me on to share this. Back when I got the job at Citrus Valley, I got an email in the fall of 2019, and it mentioned something about this cancer game, and I'm like, okay, let me look into this. And so when I looked it up online, it was called versecancer.org. There's a young man by the name of Chase. I'm sorry, I get his name right again. Chase Jones, and he was a freshman at the University of North Carolina. And he had stage 4 brain tumor. So the whole team rallied. I don't get emotional about it. The whole team rallied around him. They helped fundraise for hospital bills and things. And he came out of it. He's been cancer free. So he started this first cancer game. And so you'll see, if you look it up, you'll see colleges, high schools, other different organizations, they will have one game out of their schedule and basically state, okay, hey, you have this game, and try to fundraise for it. It's called the Verse Cancer Game. So when I had emailed the people there, and I said, yeah, let's just do this county clash thing. It is just an amazing idea. You got, multiple schools there, multiple days, and hopefully, we can make something kind of big out of this thing. But then, COVID hit. So they reached out again and said, yeah, let's do this. And so I reached out to the CBL to get going, and other schools. And then Mr. Mays, our representative, basically stated, hey, I can help all schools get started with a website. Each kid will have its own little page. And just something I just try to tell my guys, hey, just get on it. You never know what might possibly happen. And the week before we met at the first county clash, we had a person donate over $2,500.
Oh my goodness.
And, I talked to our parent for that, our young man, and they're not sure who that was. And so the night of the game, I got to meet this lady, and she's fighting cancer.
Yeah, I can see.
She just felt.
I can see this obviously means a lot to you,
just
Coach.
To help out. So I've coached a kid that had one of my first years at Cajon. He had a form of cancer. One of our players from Citrus Valley, his father, he's battling it right now, and he's doing really good. So I think we've all been touched by it. And so one thing I love about this organization so far, it's our first year really doing it, but I like how they said, hey, half the money will go back to us for research, and then you guys get to pick the other half wherever it wants to go to. And so we chose Loma Linda Children's Hospital. And then when I've talked to the 66ers, they've done one of those games. And unfortunately, the lady that was going to help us out moved on to another position. So, hopefully we'll get this thing going, this Saturday, and hopefully the following Saturday with the Big 8. And, we'll just try to snowball it and keep it rolling, just like all these years since '97 when Stout started this thing. We'll hopefully get this thing going as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. There's going to be great games this Saturday, and as you mentioned, the Big 8 League on April 16th. So if you needed another reason to see some great high school baseball here in the IE, that's obviously a great way to give back. And again, as you pointed out, it's half going to the organization, half going to a charity of your choice. And Loma Linda Children's Hospital, it doesn't get any better than that, Coach.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, we're always asking for donations and stuff. So just for our programs, and just get the boys to understand, hey, what, we've got to also, have some gratitude and give back in some way, in some form. And so they've done a great job. The organization's awesome. They say, hey, if you get $1,000, our color is yellow, so we'll send you some yellow shoelaces. So we were able to get those. And like I said, that large donation showed up. So they also gave us these T-shirts.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you get so much, and then they gave us a banner, and we had that on the dugout that night. And so, it's just something that we've taken to, especially we've gotten such close, it's hit close to home too, of people around us in our family, in our baseball family that's been stricken by cancer.
Yeah, you said it best. We all know someone, ourselves, a family member, a friend, like we all know it all touches, everyone, unfortunately. So this is a great way to support local baseball and be able to give back to such a worthy cause. Coach, I did want to talk to you about your team as well. I don't think we've actually had a chance to chat about the Blackhawks since the season began, but, talk about maybe the core of returning players from last year's championship team, and maybe some up-and-coming talent as well as you guys try to make another postseason run, which now I should mention you guys are in Division III now, so that's a big bump up, Coach.
Yeah, it is. You got to play baseball. Whatever happens between the lines happens. But division from 7 to 1. It's like what I've heard. Big difference in Division I college baseball is basically that staff. They have multiple guys that can throw 90 plus, and you're probably going to see a lot more arms in that sense. But I just tell my guys, hey, you just got to compete against the baseball. Let her, play the game the right way, play for one another, and just have fun. So we lost. Going back to your question, we lost some key seniors in that with Blake Griffin going to Chafee now, Matt McCarty, who awesome, that little kid. He's just a firecracker. Just hit a grand slam for Cal State Dominguez Hills. And then Devin Martinez, that is, who just had arm surgery, and hopefully he'll get back over that chafee. But guys have filled the roles. A lot of guys had returned and have a lot of experience. So that's a good sign. I feel that we still haven't, I don't think we've peaked yet, which is a good sign. And we've got some guys that have been some key contributors last year that are still finding their way back, probably putting a little too much pressure on themselves, or, especially when you start playing against your peers, you're like, hey, I could do this or I could do that. And you want to show that. And then you kind of rush to the game instead of letting the game come to them. And so, I think we've had one game where we just really crushed the baseball, and we're trying to get back to that. And I think, we've had the last 2 days just working in the cage with this rain. So I think we're going to be real comfortable, and I think it's going to be a real dogfight like it was last year for the CBL title. But it's going to be tough getting through those T-birds, though.
Oh man, yeah. There's no
those
weak
guys
spots.
Are really good.
There's no weak spots in that Ukaipa lineup. But Coach Austin, you've been around baseball for a long time. So, you probably see this year after year where you see a great group of seniors like Blake Griffin and those guys, and you have the supporting players who the following year they have to step into those roles that Blake and those guys had. The supporting players have to step up and be the new Blake Griffins on this team. Do you feel like you said that the best is still to come for the Citrus Valley team? Do you see those maybe supporting players from the previous season kind of filling in those gaps, becoming some of those go-to guys?
Well, one guy I was really high on, and he's really been showing a great job on the mound. He pitched last Saturday, that Saturday night against the T-Birds, and unfortunately, our catcher Jared Snyder just wasn't, large enough. He wasn't to take out the whole dugout, because that ball was just a wicked curveball that Jared Snyder was all the way in the left-handed batter's box. But Noah Smith has just been phenomenal on the mound. His first outing. He had a no-hitter going into the seventh, and ended up being a tough Canyon Springs team. But 3-2, and then Hakame Jacob Hakame is just left over. He was our number 2 last year, and he's just throwing dynamite, which he did throw a no-hitter. I think his first time out. Cy Robertson, who is a returner though, has just been stepping up a lot and playing the shortstop middle infield role. And then who's really been getting, I think, taking over the bat, where, like I said, some of our guys haven't gotten hot yet, has been Mark DiCarlo Jr. He's been a big-time DH, left-handed hit. In fact, I think Saturday night, he made the last out, but he had a line drive, just a linear right back at their pitcher, and unfortunately, it dropped right 5 feet in front of him, and he threw him out at first. But otherwise, that could be a different story. And that's been, I think, we got 4 losses so far this year. And that's been one hump that we've had to try to get over. I'm very proud of them, is the fact that we've always been still in the game. By the 7th inning, we've always had, the tying or winning or a go-ahead run even in the 7th. And even Saturday night against, those tough T-Birds, we had those opportunities. But, their pitchers are really good, and they just nailed it down. But this past Wednesday against Redlands, 1-1 ball game. Going to the top of the 7th, I'm like, okay, here we go again. And sure enough, we got David Perez, who's just stepped up, hit a double, lead it off, and then Riley Hunsaker got his 3rd hit that game, and we ended up pulling that game out 2-1. So another, and then that pitch that closed that game after Hawk was Aiden Cowie, and he's done a really tremendous job as well.
Well, Coach, I'm sure those tight ball games.
Oh yeah, let me mention one other guy. Sorry, one other guy's just been phenomenal. Has been Willie Chili. We call him Chili. He's just ice, veins of ice, and just cool as all. He's been about 400. His kid named Will Van Dyke, and he's been really a special player so far as well.
So it sounds like, all these ball games, credit to your pitching staff, right? You're going to be in every single one of these games down to the final inning, because your pitchers are going to keep it in, whether it's Smith or Hakame or whoever's on the mound. Like you said, you guys are going to come up in the 7th inning with a chance to tie or win it, or, come back win or something, right?
Yeah, that pitching staff has just really kept us in the ball games, because there's been games where we've made just multiple errors where we shouldn't be in the game. But the defense has come through. The pitching has been phenomenal. Like that first 2 innings against Redlands, I think they had no outs, runners on 2nd and 3rd, and they came away empty. Hockey just came in and just, shut the door, got a few strikeouts when they did a lazy ground ball and we got out of it those 2 innings. So, I think our team ERA is like under 2 or something. So it's been really, really, really well. I mean, especially like I said, Noah Smith doing that against at Ukaipa on the big stage. And the only 2 runs came off that wild pitch. So, the pitching's really, really, really good. And I think, when our hitting with everyone starts to hit, I think hopefully those Blackhawks will be soaring and flying all over the place.
Coach, I'm sure those tight ball games like the one you mentioned against Redlands, I'm sure they're nerve-wracking, but maybe over the course of a long season, that's what kind of builds I don't know if you want to call it the character or the identity of a team, but you guys finding ways to win. Some of those close games, maybe you'll be better for it once the playoffs roll around. Do you feel like that could be true?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Last year we had to come back on a few games. I mean, even the semifinal game against Laguna Hills, we went ahead 3-0, I believe, and they came out slugging. They scored 7. And our guys were like, pfft, and they came back and just scored 7 themselves. So with our identity here with our guys is just, okay, hey, let's just keep chipping away, inning by inning, pitch by pitch, and see if we get over that hump. And we did on Wednesday, and as long as your pitching staff, your defense, at least keep you in the opportunity to win, you can. Because I think that the hardest 6 outs of the game are the last 6 outs. So we've been there, we've learned from it, and hopefully that will help us like it did last year, learning how to come back. It helped us in that semifinal game. Now here, hopefully we can do something special, something similar to that, and learn how to put things away in the 7th. Yeah.
Coach, I'll end it with this. I don't know. There was something about your team last year. I felt like there was no way you guys were going to lose. Like you mentioned, going down 7-0. I don't know. There's something special, magical about that team. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care what the scenario says on the field right now. Like, the Blackhawks are going to find a way to come back and win. There was just something different about last year's team. Maybe I'm being over dramatic here, but did you feel that too? Maybe something similar of last year's squad?
Well, I think we saw that early in the year. Like our first 3 or 4 games were like that, where I think Paloma Valley jumped on us, and then we chipped away and ended up winning that game. Walnut came out just crushing the baseball against us. We came back, and it was just a slugfest, kind of like that Laguna Hills game. But we came up short. But there was always all those games where we would go down. In the years that passed, it would just our body language, our mindset would just say, okay, we're done. But last year's team didn't do that. We've just learned how to compete, play inning by inning. Like I said, man, you just never know in this game. So you just got to, keep playing until, it's the final out of the game. And they did a great job of that. That was amazing. Great run.
Coach Austin, listen, I always appreciate the time. I will be out there on Saturday for the County Clash. It's a big one against Cajon. Again, 4 o'clock first pitch out there, assuming we run on time. It's Summit and Harupa Hills at 1 o'clock, Cajon and CV coming up at 4 o'clock, and in the nightcap of Royal Valley and Colton High School. Coach Austin, again, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck on Saturday, and we'll see you out there at San Manuel Stadium.
All right, thank you, sir. Hey, make sure you bring your wallet then too. I'm hoping that I got Joe Hudson out there with his workers with some buckets collecting money for reverse cancer.
You know what?
I know you make big money for what you do, man.
big money. You have no idea. You have no idea. But right. I will tag the 66ers on this show so they can. Joe Hudson's my boy, so I'll make sure he sees this. He's a Cajon guy, isn't he? Yeah. Joe Hudson.
Yes, he is. Yeah. He was my catcher back in 2003. Great kid. Great young man. Now he's got 2 boys. Yeah, it's amazing.
He grew up real fast.
They grow up quick.
Coach Austin, you're the best. Have a great night. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. That's Jon Austin, the head coach of the Citrus Valley Blackhawks. And again, a big game against Cajon versus Cancer, 4 o'clock, first pitch from San Manuel Stadium. That'll take us right into another break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, your Big Boost Play of the Week in your Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. We'll be right back.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40. Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here. Make sure you check out Pep Man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep Man. You guys rock!
say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taken care of, whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. Customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
What up, y'all? Coach Bass here, gonna break you with another quick 2 cents. What's great about focusing on effort is that when it's applied often, it becomes a habit. Putting in great effort starts to extend beyond sports and becomes a state of mind. Once you start to see how far effort takes you in athletics, you can only imagine how far it'll take you in life. This is why I coach effort, because if I can get you to work incredibly hard for me, I can get you to work incredibly hard for yourself. Boost, man.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Pep Fernandez from the Inland Sports Show. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for your support over the last several years. In fact, we're going on year number 8 of the Inland Sports Show. It has certainly changed and evolved over the years, and you guys have been along for the entire journey. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We're on social media, so if you're already following us or subscribing, great. But you can also tell your teammates, your people at school, your family, your friends. There's the Inland Sports YouTube channel, approaching 2 million views. We got several thousand subscribers. We appreciate it. And make sure you share with other folks who might not be subscribing. Same goes for Twitter. We're on Twitter as well. And if you're looking for immediate results, breaking news, we post pictures and shorter videos. Check us out on Twitter. That's Inland_sports on Twitter. And we're also on Facebook. Yeah, we're still doing Facebook. In fact, we live stream the Inland Sports Show on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can check it out there live on Wednesday nights at 6:05 p.m. We're also on the gram, the IG. If you want to see pictures and shorter videos from a lot of the games and events that we go to, you can check it out on Instagram. So if you support us by following along on social media, thank you so much. And if you'd like to take that to the next level, Inland Sports also has a Venmo account. If you'd like to financially support the show, you appreciate the service we provide to the IE, you can do that as well. Again, this is just an opportunity to say thank you to all you guys out there who follow the Inland Sports Show. You watch the Inland Sports Show each and every week. Thank you guys so much, and the best is yet to come. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. We've been talking some CBL baseball with Jon Austin at Citrus Valley. He mentioned the Yucaipa Thunderbirds, man. They are off to a great season. One of the top-ranked teams in the CIF Southern Section Division I poll. And that leads us right into our Big Boost Play of the Week. It comes to you from hashtag Yucktown, Yucaipa High School. This guy is one of the best. Jacob Reimer had himself a day against Redlands East Valley. Reimer went 4 for 4, 3 home runs. Yeah, 3 of the 4 hits were long balls. 3 home runs, 6 RBI as Reimer lifts Yucaipa to a 15-6 win against Redlands East Valley. Reimer is a University of Washington Huskies commit, but I don't know. Don't be surprised if you hear his name in the Major League Baseball draft. That is Jacob Reimer providing our big boost play of the week. 3 home runs, 6 RBI in 1 game against a always tough Redlands East Valley squad. Congrats to Jacob Reimer, our big boost play of the week. And our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. We've been talking a lot about the county clash, not only tonight, but also in the last couple of weeks here on the Inland Sports Show. We are going with the nightcap because these are 2 teams that are trying to win league championships. We got the Colton Yellow Jackets tied for first place in the San Andreas League, and the Arroyo Valley Hawks in the hunt for the Skyline League title. So these are both Arrowhead Athletic Conference teams, but they're in different leagues. Colton in the San Andreas, Arroyo Valley in the Skyline. But this is, again, 2 teams pushing for the playoffs, trying to win league titles, and it is the nightcap going under the lights at San Manuel Stadium. It's the big one, Colton and Arroyo Valley. It's our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week, Hawks and Yellow Jackets. All right, big thanks again to our guest tonight, Jon Austin from Citrus Valley, and George Jones and his Broncos here on the Inland Sports Show. As we're talking a lot of high school baseball now as we get through league play, a little bit closer to the playoffs. We'll have some high school softball coming up on the upcoming shows. Next week, I think we're going to have, I'll tell you right now, we're going to have a local high school football coach on. He is taking over one of the programs in the area. We will meet him for the very first time. So there's your teaser for next week's show. More high school football here as we meet a head coach taking over one of the programs that was looking for a new head coach in the Inland Empire. Big thanks to Johnny Nunez here at Teen Vision TV 16. My name is Pep Fernandez. Be safe out there. Take care of one another. God bless you, and we will see you next week on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.